Hey, let me tell you a story that'll probably stick with you. Imagine this. High up in the mountains of Peru, two lion brothers, Simba and Reay, lived a life that most of us wouldn't wish on anyone. Their entire world was a cage. They spent every single day in there, side by side, under the glare of circus lights. For years, that was it. No space to roam, no chance to be lions, just the endless routine of captivity. Can you picture that? But here's where it gets interesting. Peru decided to ban wild animals in circuses. Finally, someone said, enough. That decision set off a chain of events that would completely change Simba and Reay's lives. Enter Animal Defenders International, ADI. These guys made it their mission to give these two brothers a second chance at life. Now, think about this for a second. These lions had only known humans as captors. They'd never experienced kindness from people, so when the ADI rescue team showed up, how do you think Simba and Reay reacted? Yeah, they were scared. Wouldn't you be? They clung to each other, unsure of what was happening. It's heartbreaking to think about, isn't it? The rescue wasn't simple. There were challenges every step of the way. The team had to carefully move the lions out of their cage into a truck and drive them across the Andes Mountains. Can you imagine how stressful that must have been for the lions and the rescuers? After hours on the road, they finally made it to the airport. But here's where it gets even harder. For the first time in their lives, Simba and Reay had to be separated. I know it sounds awful, right? But it was necessary. The rescuers built special crates for them, making sure they could still see and smell each other during the long flight. 13 hours on a plane is tough for anyone, but for two lions who had never experienced anything like it, it's hard to imagine how they felt. But the team made sure everything was as comfortable as possible. And then the moment came. The plane landed in Africa. For the first time, Simba and Reay stepped onto African soil, their new home. They were taken to a sanctuary, a place so big and open it was like stepping into another world. Can you picture it? After years in a tiny cage, they were finally free to roam. Simba, despite being stiff from years of confinement, almost seemed like he was dancing. He couldn't wait to explore. Reay was right behind him, and together they started to take in their new surroundings. The sanctuary was massive, with grass, trees, and open skies. For the first time, they could feel the earth under their paws and the sun on their faces without bars in the way. What do you think that must have felt like? Joy? Relief? Maybe a mix of everything. Even in this huge space, the brothers stayed close. They explored together, played together, and even teased each other like siblings do. Their bond was unbreakable. It's amazing to see how, despite everything they'd been through, they still found joy in each other's company. Isn't that something? Their story makes you think, doesn't it? It's a reminder that even the strongest, most majestic animals need love and care. It's not just about surviving, it's about living. And Simba and Reay finally got the chance to live. But here's the thing, their story isn't unique. There are still so many animals out there in need of rescue, stuck in cages or living in terrible conditions. Organizations like ADI are doing incredible work to change that, but they can't do it alone. That's where people like you and me come in. We can help. If this story moved you, there's something you can do. Support groups like ADI. Every little bit helps, whether it's donating, spreading the word, or even just learning more about what's happening. You'd be amazed at the difference you can make. So, let's do something. Let's stand up for animals like Simba and Reay. Let's give them the lives they deserve, because freedom isn't just for us, it's for every living being. What do you think? Are you in?